Hi everyone. As part of the LPG industry, we all have a role in making sure we are responsible in the safe transport of dangerous goods. It's part of our program to see everyone home safely every day. If you're involved in the process working for LGAS either in a branch or as a driver or agent, then please pay close attention to this update. I'll briefly outline the key requirements of the Australian Dangerous Goods Code or ADG code for safe and lawful transport of cylinders. But why are we doing this? Firstly, to protect the safety of our people, customers and other road users. But secondly, to avoid fines or prosecution. In recent years, LGAS and our agents have received multiple fines of over $10,000 each for failing to meet the ADG code. This is meant to be a simplified guide. Remember, you can always refer to the LGAS training materials for transport drivers or agents and the ADG code for more information. Today, I'll outline the 6 key things you must do for safe and lawful cylinder transport. They are: the driver must be trained, the vehicle must be roadworthy and equipped to safely carry dangerous goods cylinders, the load must be secured, the vehicle must have the correct placards, the vehicle must have all safety equipment, and a load manifest or shipping document must be carried to match the load at all times. Training is at the core of all safe transport. For LGAS drivers and contractors, training is according to our driver recruitment and driver refresher procedure. This includes our PAL training program, where you gain practical experience and are signed off as competent in the driving and delivery process. This is refreshed every 3 years. Agents, you and your workers must be trained in the requirements of the LGAS Agent and Distributor Manual, which we have provided to you. All vehicles must be roadworthy. And it's not just the driver's responsibility. Managers, fleet owners and anyone loading product onto a vehicle must also do their bit to ensure vehicles are fit for transport. For drivers, this means doing your daily check and reporting any defects to your manager to be addressed. For vehicle owners or fleet managers, vehicles must also be assessed annually. For staff on LGAS sites, this means looking out for obvious issues with vehicles we are loading. Remember, if it looks dodgy, it probably is. Don't load it and seek advice. Some of the key things to look out for are: tyres must have a safe level of tread, there must be no signs of damage to mirrors and lights, and load restraint must be compliant, such as having gates in good working order and at the correct height. Some more information on gate height and load restraint is coming up next. It is so important that cylinders are correctly restrained when on the road. We cannot have the risk of a cylinder leaving a vehicle and injuring someone. Don't forget, non-compliant loads can be easily seen by road authorities, who may pull you over and issue a substantial fine. As I mentioned before, these can run at around $10,000 per offence. The key load restraint requirements are: the vehicle must be set up with correct height gates or sides that ensure full enclosure of all cylinders. The gates or side height must be 70% of the height of any cylinders they contain. A headboard alone is not sufficient load restraint, and cylinders must never be carried laying down. The load must always be secured. Straps must be used to secure the load tightly compacted against the headboard or separation devices. Straps must be at or just above the centre of gravity for individual cylinders. Ratchet straps must be used, never rope, and straps must be discarded if they have a nick or cut more than 10% of the flat width of the strap. And some important points on safe cage restraint. Leisure cylinders must be enclosed in a cage or stillage and prevented from rolling loose or laying on their sides. If a cage is partially filled, the cylinders must be strapped to keep them upright. Another key point on cages. Steel on steel is not great for the friction required to make the load restraint work. Rubber matting under the cage is a great way to create effective load restraint. Always check the cage condition. Here's an example where a steel bar came off the cage due to corrosion during transit, allowing the cylinders to fall out onto the road. And cages must always be strapped. Here's an example of a cage that was put on a truck with side gates only and no straps. It was able to push through the gates and hit the road. Both of these incidents were extremely dangerous. Always remember that you must have placards if the load requires it. This will be the case for most of your loads if you're an LGAS vehicle or one of our contractors or agents. Placards are required for LPG cylinder loads over 250 litres water capacity or mixed loads above 1,000 kilograms or litres of any mixed DG load. The placement of placards is important. For a rigid or ute, they are required at the front and back. For a ute or rigid carrying a trailer, placards are required at the sides as well. In these cases, if the load is LPG only, use the red diamond, and if you are carrying mixed dangerous goods, use the striped diamond. But if you have a trailer with goods segregated in each compartment, put a striped diamond on the front and back, and the specific class on each side of the rear sections. The ADG code has a set of safety equipment you must have on board when carrying more than 250 litres water capacity of dangerous goods. These include your placards, a fire extinguisher mounted inside or behind the cabin and another at the front of any trailer, emergency information cards or guidebook, which must be kept in the emergency information holder mounted in the vehicle, thermally insulated gauntlet gloves, a flame-proof torch, breakdown triangles, and gas-tight goggles. All of this equipment must be well maintained, fit for purpose, and ready for use at any time. Load transportation documents and a manifest must be carried at all times and kept accurate. An LGAS run cash summary complies as a transport document. The front page manifest must go in the marked emergency information holder. It must be updated as you load or unload cylinders from the vehicle if the total quantity changes. Remember, if supplying a local pickup customer less than 250 litres and so not a placard load, please still provide them with an invoice describing quantity and pack sizes. This is important if they go on to pick up other dangerous goods and become a dangerous goods load. So that's it. Please remember the key messages from today's presentation. Trained drivers, roadworthy vehicle, load restraint, placarding, safety equipment, and load manifest. LGAS agents, if this raises any concerns or questions about your fleet or equipment, please reach out to your LGAS contact. And LGAS employees and contractors, they can be raised with your supervisor or manager. Get all these things right and you are well on the way to the safe and legal transport of dangerous goods that we expect. Thanks for listening and have a safe day.